When my kids were little, I had no choice but put them in daycare. Like most of you guys, daycare raises our kids, or other people raises our kids. What are we doing? We're out making money to pay for the house that we don't get to live in, or pay for someone else to raise our kids, or to pay for this, that, and the other. I mean, hopefully when we're in our 60s or 70s, we will then get to sit back on the porch and go, oh, this is what all that was about. But anyway, I have to work. Had to put my kids in daycare. They're older now. And my son went through a period where he was very, very, very upset. Him and his father didn't have the best relationship. There were some things done, and he just got very angry. And he had a speech problem, and people didn't understand him, and that pissed him off to no end. So he had a lot going on inside, and it manifested out into just outbursts, just crazy outbursts where he would just be out of control. And the school was just constantly dope him up, and I was not going to do that. Or people didn't want to hang around him, or people are saying things about him, or people are really down on him, and I keep saying, he's just angry. We've got to love him through it. We've got to love him through it. He's just angry. I understand this. I've been angry. You know, he's going to be okay. And nobody really believed me, and oh, daycare was a crazy, crazy time for us, because he was always, like, if he would try to say something and somebody didn't understand him, then he would get mad and he would try to explain it again. They didn't understand him. He would get to crying. He'd throw a fit. He'd end up in the corner, and then he'd be mad, and it would just escalate, all because he couldn't be understood. And there were many, many, many days where I got a phone call from the daycare saying, you need to come pick up your son, and we need $220 because he's kicked out another window. And you heard me use the word another. There is, honest to God, one daycare in this town that all of the windows that go to the ground, which is about 8, I have personally paid for. I've paid for, because my son would get pissed and he wore cowboy boots and he would kick them out. So it got to the point that when he would get to daycare, they would take him straight to the room that had the high windows, and his shoes would come off because he was a kicker. And man, he broke so many windows. And he was in so much trouble at school. And he was always labeled bad. And he was always with the bad kids. And I kept saying, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. One time, he was in regular classes. And they're like, we're going to send you out of here. And we're going to send you off into another room. And they called me at work. And they're like, this is what we're going to do. And I said, then he won. Then he absolutely won. Well, what do you mean? I said, he doesn't want to be there to start with, so he makes a little noise and you send him out of the room. He's got exactly what he wants. He knows what he's doing. He's working you guys. I keep trying to tell you guys, he's playing you, and you're getting twisted in a knot. And if you would listen to me, I can tell you how to work him. First of all, he's angry as hell. So if you can give him, when he gets mad, you just ignore it, you just blow it off, and that doesn't continue to stir him up because he doesn't get a reaction out of you. Second of all, if he gets bad enough where you want to separate him from the kids, then that's fine. You put his chair over in the corner, you can turn it around or whatever, leave him in the same room. He's still in the same room, he's doing the same work, he's got the same teacher, blah, blah, blah. He didn't get his way. He is separated, so he maybe is not as much of an issue as he was, but he didn't get his way. He didn't get to leave the room. You know, I know my child. I know my child is angry. And you know what? I had a lady come up to me the other day, and she's like, how's that son of yours? And they hadn't seen him in years. And this was some of the daycare people. I hadn't seen him, I guess, in 5 years. And I said, oh, he's amazing. And that is the truth. My son is amazing. I hugged him, and I loved him, and I kissed him, and I whipped his ass, and I prayed about him for him. I scolded him. I talked to him like he needed to be talked to, and we got through it, and it was hard as hell. And there's other things that have happened, and it was hard as hell, which pisses me off at their father, because he just sits back and says, oh, I'm having such a hard time. Fuck you, you ain't got a clue. But you know what? I hung in there with my boy, and he is awesome. He is a rock star. He will do anything for anybody. He will go up to an elderly person and open the door or help them with something. He will, yes ma'am and no ma'am. He hasn't kicked out a window or wore a pair of cowboy boots or kicked anybody in a long, long time. Now, mind you, he's still 16, and he's got a 16-year-old mouth, so I'm not saying he's a saint, But I'm saying, love and time can really, 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 really do miracles. And my son is awesome. Awesome. I'm so blessed. And I always was. And I always was just hurting because he was hurting. And that's all he was. He was just hurting. Because he is the best, best, best little guy in the world. Or little guy, grown man now. Taller than I am. Hair all over his face. Love him. Love you, Chris. Anyway, hope you guys are having an awesome day.